So tonight on Hatter Chatter, I'm hanging out and talking with Lauren. And if you know her from the Hat Pack, you've probably seen the steady, the supportive vibe that she is. But what most people don't see is the road that built all of that strength and good vibes. And so Lauren's story has a few chapters that were heavy. The kind of heavy that you don't really drop in small talk, the kind of heavy that can either harden you or shape you. And so we're going to talk to her about who she is beyond the username Lauren and the glam tree if you've seen her other TikTok accounts, what she's learned, what keeps her grounded now, and how she became the kind of person who just shows up for people the way that she does. And so if you know Lauren, you know. So grab your coffee, grab you a soda, grab something, settle in, and let's get into it. Lauren, welcome in to Hatter Chatter. So tonight we're speaking with Lauren. Lauren has been a Hat Pack member for a long time, really since, almost since the beginning, right? Like really early on.
Yeah, I think so. Because I found you not too soon after I found Clutch.
Yeah, okay. And so tonight's going to be kind of more chill, laid back, just getting to know Lauren. My goal is to hopefully get to know our Hat Pack founders, Hat Pack members, super fans, all the above. That is the goal, okay? I want this to actually feel like a community where you know the people that you're hanging out with and playing games with and all that stuff. So this is Lauren. Just some opening questions, Lauren, okay? Just a couple of just spitfire stuff to begin this, to make this fun, okay? What's one small thing that you're just irrationally passionate about?
Oh.
You're just people be like, why do you love that so much? What's one thing that you just you are so passionate about?
So if I had to go with the first thing that came to my mind,
okay,
I love when people know things about the things that they love. So my most passionate love is seeing people be passionate about the things that they love in their hobbies.
Okay, I like that. So I know that you're super into cooking and you're super into makeup and things like that. Is there anything else that you're really into that nobody really knows about you?
I convinced my husband to buy the home he grew up in for us simply because it has 6 acres of land, because I love being in nature and I am a plant junkie.
I love that. So you guys live in the house that he grew up in?
Yes. So they originally bought this. He was young. I don't really know exactly how young, but he lived here up until post-graduation, and then they moved out for a little while, and he had his own thing he was doing, and we came up here one day with my father-in-law to help him clear out some land because we were just going to sell it as is. And we got home that night, and I looked at him, and I was like, I have a crazy idea. And he's like, what? And I was like, what if we bought it? And that was kind of the end of that. The moment I said that, he was like, you're going to make me move back there, aren't you? And I'm like, yep.
That's so cool, though. That's so cool. So how old is this house?
It's a modular home from a company based on the northern border, but it was manufactured in 2008, so almost 20 years.
Oh, nice. That's really cool. I love that.
And we had it completely gutted and stripped down when we started.
Yeah.
It was literally, we were going to sell it as is, and we did all of the renovations ourselves.
Seriously.
We did our own, so our house is colorful and bright, and we've got black trim and crown molding, wood floors.
Ooh, that's cool.
Bright yellow. I love it.
Yeah, that's super cool. That's really cool. All right, another spitfire question, okay? Because I know this conversation is probably going to get a lot deeper, okay? But another fun, just get to know you question here. What's your most specific old person habit? You know what I'm saying? Like, just like, this is what old people do, but this is also what Lauren does. What's one of your specific, like, old person habits? Because we all have one, right?
I cross stitch.
You cross stitch? Yes, I love that. What's something that you cross stitch recently?
So I haven't really done it a whole lot recently. It's one of my newest habits, like hobbies. I used to do it a lot with my mom. If I had to do one that I'm consistent with, I grind out on some Sudoku.
Really? Yes. That's awesome.
I can finish difficult ones in less than 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh. I have a friend who she's the same way. She's like a Sudoku master. That's crazy. I don't know about 5 minutes though. That's fast. I'm going to have to watch you do this. What's up, Jay? Thank you for the follow. Okay, so let's go a little bit deeper, okay? Because this is, you know, like I said, people are getting to know you. Like, this is like, you know, friendship status, right? Like, you've been kind of around in the stream for a long time. You've been modding for me. You've been in the Discord helping us out, like things like that. So tell us, like, what's like one big, like, what's the most you thing about how you grew up? Like, what is the most, like, okay, this is Lauren, and this is like what has kind of shaped her life? Like, what shaped your personality probably more than you've ever realized? Like, what shaped who you are?
Knowing that a solid 70% of the pain that I've gone through in my life could have been completely avoided by the adults in my youth.
Wow. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit, or?
So I grew up in the church. I grew up Southern Methodist.
Okay.
And my parents got divorced pretty much right before I was born. So it was a split custody thing. I was with my mom full time and my dad pretty much every weekend. When she had her way, it was only a few times a year. But I had my mom in one ear talking about how faith meant nothing. It doesn't do anything, like all of this, which in nowadays is very hypocritical because she is 100% the wrong image of what Christianity should be.
Okay.
And growing up in the church, there was this older couple with a grown son who they claimed was special needs.
Okay.
To excuse the fact that he would like sexually assault and grope the young girls in the congregation.
Wow.
My dad did everything he could to protect me and my sisters from that. Thankfully for us, because he was so vocal about it, it was always a misplaced hand on the lower back and nothing more. But if the other adults in the congregation, instead of making excuses for this individual, had actually done something, it could have probably changed my childhood a little bit, because that was a big factor on why I decided to step away from a traditional church setting.
Wow. So, like, now who you are, like, do you still feel that maybe the way you think and like your maybe your view of other people, yourself, do you feel like a lot of that was shaped by those things and those adults, or have you really done a lot of work to try to change some of that for yourself?
So I have become at peace with my worship needs and what I have with the faith that I have now. I'm more non-denominational on things, following a little bit more of the paganism route. So I have like my more metaphysical in my life now. I sleep with crystals above my bed. I have little manifestation jars that I have, like my prosperity one that I really need to take to work with me. But I also with the way my mom talked to me as a kid about this, it was 100% like, I will forever support anybody and the faith choosings that they make for themselves, as long as they have a pure intention with it.
So go deeper with that. Like, explain what you mean by that, if you don't mind.
So, like, for me, I grew up Southern Methodist. I was in church like 4 or 5 times a week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bible study for youth on Wednesdays.
I grew up Southern Baptist, so I get it. Yep.
Yep. And Southern Baptist and Southern Methodist are very similar within the difference of we eat more.
Right.
So, like, I used to work and volunteer with a local organization called Youth for Christ. So I would do the water park walk-ins that they hosted, and my Saturday nights were at the youth centers. You know, it was like a little teen club that promoted safe spaces for individuals. And I think because of the lack of support from the adults in the congregation that I grew up in, because by the time I was born, majority of our congregation was like older than my parents, and a lot of the people my parents' age hadn't really had kids yet. My mom had me and my sisters very young.
Okay.
So I was one of the few children in our congregation, and they weren't very keen on changing things to include the youth. So I think that of the kind of lack of protection from them came from when it came to that particular individual and the situations that a lot of the young girls went through. And I think that shaped quite a bit of what I went through in my adolescence and my teen years, with relationships that I chose and situations that I allowed and that the adults around me allowed to happen, because in my brain it was at that point normal, and that's how affection was shown. Which, looking back at some of the stuff that I've gone through and things we'll talk about, the moment certain words came out of my mouth, my parents should have protected me.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
and then I think
go ahead.
That transpired even more once I fully stepped away from like any type of faith, because there was a solid like 6 to 8 years of my adolescence where I was, nothing exists, nothing's true, it's all gonna end horribly anyway, which kind of snowballed the things I went through. And it honestly wasn't until 2020 when I hit rock bottom.
Okay, so you went through a lot of traumatic experiences as a kid. You saw a lot of people in your life that probably, well, we know should have protected you, but probably even claimed to, at the time, protecting the youth of their congregation. And yet these things were still happening in private circles, and nothing was, and you were the honest, true, trying to do whatever you could to bring it to the light, and yet it was still being swept under the rug. So tell us what happened kind of moving into the 2020 era.
So when I left the church, I kind of moved back in with my mom almost permanently. Like, I would go to my dad's house every now and then to see my younger sister that him and my stepmom had. And every time I would come back, my mom would just say a whole bunch of negative stuff. And in 2013, I had turned 15. So my birthday's in July. I am a Cancer, so early July.
Okay.
2013, I had made it known to my ROTC leaders that I was interested in joining the military.
Okay. Wow.
And my ROTC chief, which I have absolutely no ill feelings toward, because she did not know that this was going to transpire that way. She had gotten me in touch with somebody who had graduated May of 2013 because he was in the Navy. And, you know, she got us in touch. We started talking. I was asking normal questions of somebody who was interested in pursuing that type of career to him. And it was a great way to start that connection, because he had just, like, become in the military. Like, he had just gotten out of boot camp. Very fresh. He gave me a good perspective on it. And then he began pursuing me. So for that age difference, it was a little over 3.5 years. I was 15. He was almost 19.
Wow. And so he was like pursuing you.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm an impressionable 15-year-old. And
sure.
This is something that, like, talking about this it took me a while to realize what it was. And I still don't always like to say it out loud because it's not something that I feel I am a victim of, even though I know I am.
Yeah.
He pursued me. I fell for the nice things he said. We ended up dating for 2.5 years, almost 3 years.
And you're 15, he's 19.
I'm 15, he's 19.
And you're 2.5 years, so then moving forward, you're 17 and he's 21.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's about the same age difference as me and my husband, honestly.
Okay.
Which I pick on him all the time about it because I'm like, oh, when I was this age, you were that age, but now that I'm 27 and he's 31, it don't sound like anything.
Oh yeah, it's totally different when you're older. Totally different. Yeah.
But he says all the right things. He comes home on leave to see me every few months. He came home for Thanksgiving that year, and I told my mom that I was staying with a friend because I wanted to see him. Mm-hmm. And 15-year-old, that's normal. Lie to your parents, stay with someone else. Like, I had a normal teenage experience with that one.
Sure.
But then he tried to pursue things further.
Yeah.
I tried to stop it because I was uncomfortable.
Right.
And he told me that it's normal because we love each other. And I kind of felt not at the time cornered, but I kind of accepted that and let the things that happened happen. Looking back at it now, that was coercion, and
yeah,
I ended up keeping our relationship a secret until I was 16 because of the Romeo and Juliet laws in Mississippi. And 2 days after my 16th birthday, I told my mom. My mom knew this person existed, but didn't know the extent of our relationship at the time. She just thought he was somebody that I was talking to because I was interested in the military.
Right.
I tell her what happened.
Yeah.
To an extent. She obviously didn't know the full story, but she knew I was in a relationship with somebody much older than me.
Yeah.
And she did nothing. It got to the point where most of my family knew him and loved him. It was, he would come home on leave. He would be this picture perfect significant other to their teenage daughter, not knowing that by the point that they knew about it, it had become abusive. So my left wrist, if you wrap your fingers around your wrist and squeeze, I can pop my wrist in and out of place because of him. Because he was driving on the interstate one day. We were coming back from a movie, and he didn't want to hold the steering wheel anymore. And he asked me to hold it from the passenger seat. And I told him, I don't know how to drive. I'm not comfortable doing that. And he grabbed me by the wrist and yanked so hard that he dislocated my wrist.
Wow.
At that point, I was worried to tell anybody that had happened because I'm very much aware at that time that could have ruined his career in the military.
Yeah.
And looking back at it now from my perspective at my age now, I wish I would have ruined his career in the military.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
But I popped my wrist back into place.
You told nobody.
I lied and covered it up, and my brain is even worse. So when my mom noticed I was wearing a wrist brace, she asked me what had happened, and I told her I slipped during training in ROTC and fell on my wrist wrong and sprained it. She asked no questions.
But you felt because, but this is common in abusive relationships, right? Where the threatening and, like you said, the coercion and where you were at mentally and emotionally, and you're still young, it was probably, it had to have been scary even thinking about trying to out him or, tell me what was going through your head, through this process of, because I'm sure you had this dichotomy in your head of, this is what I should do, but I don't know if I can do that. And you're back and forth. What's going on in your head through some of this stuff?
So a lot of what kept me from telling the truth back then was because we had been together for so long at this point, and he was still saying all of the right things even after the hitting and the verbal abuse and all of that had started. But I was most worried about him sending my parents the graphic photos he had of me.
Oh my gosh.
Which, looking back on it, I should have just sucked it up and told my parents and let him put himself in that situation, because it, at the end of the day, would have ended up protecting me more.
Yeah.
Because every time I tried to stand up for myself or walk away, it was, well, I'll just send your mom these photos. I have her number.
Oh my gosh.
So I left him when I was 17. No. Yeah, almost 17. So I left him March of 2015. So it was the summer going into my senior year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started a span of relationship hopping.
Yeah.
At that point, I had the mentality of thinking that I wasn't capable of being loved in a healthy way, and that being alone was even worse.
Wow.
So it was quite literally, I was single for 2.5 weeks after leaving him. And then I dated somebody for a month. Left, that relationship ended. I dated somebody else for 3 weeks after that. Relationship ended. Dated somebody from August until October of 2015. That relationship ended because he ended up getting kind of like that one wasn't like a malicious end. He had a situation come up with his ex where she was pregnant and said it was his, even though we both now learned that it wasn't. Me and him are still kind of friends. Okay. Ironically, he's also a car salesman. And then I started dating one of my friend's exes that December.
Okay.
So from December 2015 to early April 2016, I was with him. We ended up breaking up because he said that he wasn't going to be able to handle being down here when I was going off into the military, which was understandable.
Right.
And then I met my other ex April of 2017 or 2016, and we got together 2.5-ish weeks after meeting.
Yeah.
That ended up until the relationship I'm in now, was the longest and most abusive relationship I've ever been in.
Wow.
So the first year or so was great. He said all the right things. We were picture perfect. My family loved him. His family loved me. All of our friends loved us together. Like, it was great. The February after I got discharged from the military, so I broke my hip in the Navy and was medically discharged. February of 2017, I woke up one day and I couldn't lift my arms because my chest hurt so bad. My chest was solid. I couldn't lift my arms. I freaked out because breast cancer runs in my family.
Okay.
And I called my doctor and I told her what was going on. And she told me to come straight in so that she could examine everything and make sure I was okay. And I called him and I asked him to go with me because I was terrified.
Yeah.
And he told me that he couldn't go with because he was on the phone with his ex because she wanted to apologize for how she treated him.
Wow.
So I went to that appointment alone and I sat in my doctor's office and I cried. Thankfully, everything was okay. Turns out my body just does not process caffeine properly.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't know how those two are related, but thankfully I haven't had an issue since because I watch my caffeine consumption, even though I always have a Red Bull in my hand.
Don't we all? We live life this way now.
Literally.
Yeah.
I think my body just got used to it. She's like, guys, she's not going to stop drinking it. Let's just quit scaring her.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I talked to him about it afterwards and I was like, hey, I'm not upset that you wanted to talk to her because you deserve that closure. I'm upset that took priority over me and a potential health scare.
Yeah, for sure.
And he apologized. Like, he owned it. He was like, yeah. He's like, I should have had better timing and told her no and gone with you. Like, he owned it. Like,
okay.
He said all the right things during that to make me think that I was understood and that he wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
So, fast forward however long, the financial abuse started. It was every time we went out, I paid, even though he had more money than I did. He had a better job. He had, like, he came from money. His dad worked really hard. Like, every time his dad was in town, he was like that picture perfect significant other, showering me with love bombing me.
Yeah.
But when it was just me and him, it was a lot of the same as what I went through with my first relationship.
Wow.
And then 2 weeks before our 3-year anniversary, I found explicit messages between him and a mutual friend of ours while he was in my house. So we were laying in my mom's house watching a movie, and he had fallen asleep. And I am somebody that once I'm bored on my phone, I play on their phone. So, like, even now, like with my husband, if I'm bored on my phone, I'm scrolling on his Facebook, even though his Facebook makes no sense to me.
Right. My wife could probably attest to that. Yeah. She's like, what kind of things why are you getting this stuff on TikTok? I don't know. Yeah. As I'm with you. I'm with you.
My Dallas's For You pages are completely different.
Okay. So your husband's name is Dallas, or your significant other's name. Is your husband?
Yeah, my husband.
Okay. Gotcha.
So I toss his phone at him. I wake him up and I tell him, I'm like, look, you need to leave. And at this point, I was ready to fully walk away. Like, I was already, like, kind of raging. And I'm somebody that when I get really upset, I cry. Like,
sure.
And then I get even more upset, and then I cry harder, and it's just a spiral.
Okay.
So he could tell I was upset because I was crying, but not in, like, it was a silent cry kind of way. Like, you could feel the anger coming off of me.
Yeah.
And he tried to get me to tell him what was going on. And I told him, I was like, I just need you to get out, go home. I'm done. And the moment I said that, he realized what I was talking about. And he broke down. He started crying. He's like, I don't really have an excuse for it. I don't know, like, how it, like, he basically pulled the, I don't know how it happened card. And I, like, somewhat stood my ground. I told him to go home, told him I didn't feel like talking about it, and that he could go, like, he could just go home. So I sent him home, and I pretty much cried myself to sleep that night, because at this point, it's my longest relationship. We have promise rings. His parents call me their daughter. We went to New York to get, like, his parents flew me first class with them on a family vacation and gave me one of the greatest vacations of my life. We stayed in New York. We were on Times Square. Like, his dad knew I was rough financially, so he gave me money for the trip. Like, it was a beautiful experience. I want to go back to New York to make new memories, but I'm going to cherish that trip.
Yeah.
So I send him home, and I'm in the living room. I'm trying to come with terms with the fact that my 3-year relationship is over.
Right.
And he love bombed me in a way that didn't feel like love bombing. So he gave me my space. He let me think about things. He once again admitted to what happened. He blocked her. Like, he changed his schedule at work, so he wasn't working with her anymore. Like, it was, like, all of the right moves to prove that he was going to do better.
Okay.
But then a flip switched, and it became 100% about his mental health. And I ended up putting myself on the back burner to take care of him with that. And that is a mistake I will never do again. I will never put my own mental health on the back burner for anybody.
Yeah.
August of that year. So this is August of 2019.
Okay.
He goes to the Philippines because his mom is Filipino.
Okay.
They go every year. He went. He came back. We were on a break while he was in the Philippines. We didn't talk at all. That was his calling. He said he just needed space. He needed clarity. He wanted to be able to focus on his family. I did not find out until very recently, actually, that they came home almost 3 days sooner than he told me.
Wow.
By the time he told me he came back, he said that he was having some type of skin reaction to the water or something, which, like, I get it. I've been to Mexico a couple of times. I know that can happen. Like,
sure.
The different bacteria in water, you can have reactions.
Mm-hmm.
But reaction was only localized to a certain area, if you catch me.
Gotcha.
So he goes to the doctor. They give him a diagnosis, and it's not a great diagnosis. Homeboy now has the gift that keeps on giving for the rest of his life.
Oh, no.
So I am somebody who, even as an individual who has been married for over a year, very healthy, committed relationship, I've never once suspected Dallas of ever doing anything nefarious outside of our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Your girl's still going and getting blood tested every 6 months. Because I am paranoid and determined that I'm going to get something I don't want from a public toilet seat.
Gotcha.
So I get tested I have to get blood work done every 6 months anyway. So I just have them pull an extra vial or two while they got me stuck.
Right. Just to make sure.
I knew at this point that I have always never had anything. Will never have anything. Who pray to whoever we pray to. I called my doctor, and I'm somebody who I'm on a pretty much a first name basis with all my doctors. I call her up on her cell phone on her day off, and I'm like, I need you to get me in now. And she's like, what's going on? And I was like, I will explain when I get there. She met me at the office. She sticks me, and I tell her, I was like, I need a full panel. I'm like, screen me for crap you've never even screened me for before. And and I explain it to her. So she expedites it, and I get my results in 48 hours. Like, she pulled major strings for me. I had all of the results. She had booked me out for another 6 and 8 weeks to get repeats done.
Yeah.
But I'm also somebody who, I am aware of science. I am aware that in that condition, if you're reliable with your meds and there's no active skin lesions, it's non-transferable.
Mm-hmm.
So me being the person of 3.5 years committed to this man that I am, I tell him that within reason, we can work it out as long as he's honest with me.
Okay.
He, to this day, will still claim that I am the one who passed it to him.
Oh my gosh.
Which is kind of hilarious, because once we finally broke up in November of 2019, he threw it out that after his diagnosis, I started love bombing him, buying him snacks and all the new video games, which I can pull up GameStop receipts on my GameStop account. I did that all through our relationship. I was always getting him the newest editions, the highest editions, any game he wanted. Like, I bought him new controllers when he threw them at the wall. Like, that is the kind of person I am. Even now, like, for Christmas this past year, me and Dallas agreed we weren't going to do anything, and I turned around and upgraded his Xbox because I upgraded mine last year for my birthday, and I felt bad that he didn't have a new Xbox.
That's awesome.
Like, that has always been the kind of person I am. Gift giving and feeding people are my love language.
I love it. That's awesome.
So we break up November of 2019.
Okay.
And he throws out and accuses me of giving him this incurable disease that he now has. And he accused me of cheating on him with my friend Elvis, and that is his real name.
That's amazing. Yes, Lauren takes care of people, yes.
I do take care of people. Clutch, you better have eaten. But so he accused me of cheating on him in August of 2019 with my friend Elvis, even though I did not meet said friend until the end of October of 2019.
Okay.
And that is kind of how I attacked that situation, and I called it for what it was. I flat out told him, I was like, so you're so busy cheating on the person who has had all of the love and support for you for the last almost 4 years.
Right.
You're so busy doing nefarious things outside of your committed relationship with her that you don't even pay enough attention to me to notice that the person you just accused me of sleeping with and cheating on you with didn't come into my life until last month.
Yeah, but
and he didn't respond after that.
Well, of course. I mean, you're talking about a guy who is willing to do shady things behind your back, even though you're in a committed, loving relationship, and we expect him to tell the truth. I mean, you know, that's so.
And it devolved very quickly after that. This time I was living on my own. So it was like I was living on my own for the first time. I had invited him to come live with me, and at the time my best friend and her significant other, so it was just going to be the four of us. We had gotten a really good deal on a house that her friend's parents had owned. They were moving out of the state and didn't want to rent it out, so they told us we could live there as long as we paid utilities. So I didn't even have rent in the first place I lived in, because the deal just was like that, like fell perfectly. The day I moved into that place, which this was kind of the final straw of this relationship for me, was the day I moved into that place, he told me he could not help me move in because he was hanging out with a friend. And I knew the moment he said a friend, he was hanging out with the girl he cheated on me with.
Absolutely. Yep.
So I didn't really respond to him. I was like, if that's how you're going to choose to be, whatever, I'm done. So we broke up a couple of weeks after that, really.
Yeah. So how long after that then was it that that you met Dallas?
So it was almost a year.
Okay.
Roughly.
So you took a year off from dating, relationships, like everything, like, because you said 2020 was hard for you.
So when I left that relationship with my ex, I was already in kind of a bad spot mentally, and I had neglected my mental health so much at that point that I didn't know how to handle what I was going through. So I turned to drinking, because at this point it was no longer illegal for me to drink. Granted, I had been drinking for so long that like I was going to find a way to do it regardless, but now it was legal. All of my extra money went to drinking. So I had 2 jobs at the time, and I was living on my own. So I was working pretty much 7 days a week. And if I wasn't at work, I was drinking. I was either out at the bar, out with a guy, drinking in my house. There was a solid 8 months of my life where I was not sober.
Wow.
February of 2020, I met I don't really want to call him an ex. His name, ironically, was Matt, but we called him Cooper because he was Navy. So he went by his last name. Okay. So we met on Tinder. We met up at a local bar, hung out. He was sweet. He was great. We ended up in like an official relationship, but it wasn't really like a relationship per se.
Okay.
Like we did the normal relationship things. We went on cute dates. He met my family, that kind of thing. But I think deep down, neither of us, like both of us, kind of knew it wasn't going to really go anywhere.
Gotcha.
He was more of just like a Facebook drinking buddy, essentially.
Okay.
So when me and him split, the drinking got even worse, because at that point I was on unemployment because COVID was happening. I was on bed rest because I had a torn muscle in my hip, and I was back to living at home because I could no longer live on my own because I couldn't afford it.
Jeez.
So at that point, it felt like my life had did a complete 180. I gained back all of the weight I had lost after my breakup. It became very hard for me to accept where I was at in life.
Yeah.
And the drinking got even worse. I was going through the big bottles of like the cheapest liquor I could find every 2 to 3 days. So like think of the giant bottles of like your tacos.
Yeah.
I was going through 2 of those every 3 days.
Oh my gosh.
And it wasn't until probably May of that year. I think it was a couple of days after Cinco de Mayo. I had such a bad hangover that I grabbed a bottle of water. And my little sister, who I don't know if y'all can hear her talking in the background. She's out in the living room talking.
A little bit, not much.
She came up to me. So at the time she was 11. She didn't really know a whole lot of what was going on. She came up to me and asked me if it was actually water in the bottle that I was drinking.
Wow. It's okay. Take your time.
And I think at that moment, it was kind of hearing the pain in her voice.
Yeah. Wow.
Because hearing her ask me reminded me of growing up with my dad, because my dad was an alcoholic.
Wow.
So I dumped it all, and I didn't look back. I went through some of the worst withdrawal in my life.
Sure, I can't imagine.
I focused on trying to figure out what I wanted out of my life, and my sister plays with. I say plays. That's not the right word because I do not want to anger them. She does tarot card readings. Like, we're very in tune with like the spiritual side of things.
Okay.
And we were going through some stuff in our rooms one night, and I had yet another person ghost me, and I take that very seriously because I am somebody who, if you don't want to be involved with somebody, whether it's platonically, romantically, however, be an adult and tell them.
100%.
Just be like,
don't lead them all. Yeah.
With this. And I was getting frustrated with how often that was happening. And I told her, I was like, just pull tarot. I was like, let me know what I'm missing. What am I being stupid about? And I asked the deck, and I literally told him, I was like, am I overlooking something in my life? And she did the spread, and it basically read me to filth and told me that I was so busy focused on how I was feeling that I wasn't focused on what life was trying to give me.
Oh, wow.
And I took that as there was somebody in my current matches on Tinder that I hadn't talked to that life had presented me with.
Okay.
So I gave my sister control. I handed her my phone and I told her, I was like, this is how you scroll through this. Go through the people I have matched with that I haven't talked to at all and tell me which one to message. And she picked Dallas because her response was, there's no way we're the same age. He looks 12. And it does. To this day, my 31-year-old husband looks exactly the same as he did in 2013 when he graduated high school. Like, he has not aged a day.
That's awesome.
So I message him at 2-something in the morning. Blank, crackle, pop. What's missing? And that's how I made him ask me for my Snapchat. And then when he responded, I proceeded to tell him, man, I can't believe that worked. Roles were reversed. I would have unmatched with you.
Wow.
And he added me on Snapchat. We got to talking, and we talked for a couple of days. And then he asked me to go to lunch.
Okay.
Which, if anybody on the 18+ scene has ever been on Tinder, lunch is not something people ask for on that app.
Sure.
So I was thrown off. I'm like, holy crap, this guy's a weirdo. But I'm like, free meal.
Sure.
So we met at Mugshots down in Biloxi.
Yeah.
And he pulls up in this 1991 GMC Sierra that is just absolutely beautiful because he redid all the bodywork. And I pull up in a beat up, rusted out 04 Dodge Ram. And we're immediately looking at each other and we're like, oh, we are two different kind of car people. Even now, my front yard is filled with his Chevys and my Nissan.
I love it.
we make those jokes, and he's like, yeah, just be glad it's a Dodge and not a Ford, because I'd have had to make up an excuse to leave. Which is ironic now that I work at a Ford dealership.
Yeah, but you sell other things other than Ford there, I'm sure. You sell some used other things.
My first sale was a Lincoln.
There you go.
Owned by Ford.
So. Oh, are they? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Lincoln is Ford's luxury.
Gosh. Okay, so let me stop you for a second, Lauren, because you've had 1,000,001 things happen in your life. Back-to-back things. And first off, I want to go back to childhood stuff, and I want to say on behalf of everyone who is a church leader, because I am a church leader, right? I want to say I'm so sorry that happened. That should not have happened. There should have been no reason that any of that should have happened. And so on behalf of them, I am deeply, deeply sorry for what happened back then. And I know I cannot take the place of those people and actually say sorry for them. They should be the ones that actually seek you out and ask for your forgiveness, like true forgiveness. But, you know, I'll do my part and say, I'm sorry, because that's not, and you know this now, right? Being in a non-denominational church and Christian church now, you know that's not how it's supposed to go. And there are good Christian leaders out there. As much as the media and people want to, you know, pin the church in this bad light, like all churches are exactly the same, you know. There are good people out there, you know. So on behalf of them, I want to say I'm deeply, deeply saddened by this, but I'm also very, very sorry you had to go through that. But then also just this, I know that the string, like the things that have gone on in your life have strings attached back to those events. And I'm so both burdened by the things that you've had to go through, even up to the point of like feeling like you had to drink every day just to exist. But then I'm also, Lauren, so happy that you're here and you're talking with me and you're part of this community and you're doing well now and you've been sober for a while now. Like, I know that those things that you went through sucked so bad, but I'm so incredibly happy for the progress and the emotional work that you've done. I'm very, very proud of you for getting through that stuff and doing the work that you've done up to this point.
It has definitely been a lot of work. I have dates that are pretty much always going to be set in stone for me because of the things I've gone through.
Yeah.
But I also have milestones that I get to look forward to now.
Absolutely.
So in 2014, May 14th to be exact, I attempted for the last time. And because it was unsuccessful, I will now get to celebrate my 30th birthday.
Wow. Jeez.
I get to celebrate 2 years of sobriety, October 1st this year, which
let's go.
This past October was the first time in 12 years that I ever hit a year sober.
Wow. Congratulations. That's amazing. And listen, I want you to know, I know what that feels like because I went through a lot of the same things. I had and one of these days I'll get to the point where I can share a lot more of my story, but I went through deep depression and anxiety in my late teens. And there are many reasons why I shouldn't even be here talking to you today. And so I know the mental weight and the mental gymnastics you had to go through to get to, well, and the work that you had to go through That's why I wanted to commend you and say I'm proud of you for doing that work, because you seem like such a genuine, like just beautiful hearted human being, right? And you could have chosen, Lauren, you could have easily chosen the other way, to just be a bitter, angry, ticked off. And a lot of people choose that way, right? We know people probably personally that have chosen just, you know what, life threw this at me, so I'm just going to be a complete, you know what. And you've chosen the other route. You've chosen to be a lover and a giver, and you feed people and you take care of people, and you're still taking care of people. And I'm so thankful that you chose that route, Lauren. I'm so thankful.
I think a lot of the factors that played into how I am today, how I interact with people, my love languages and everything like that, are because I hate the idea of anyone ever feeling the way I have felt.
Absolutely.
I will take food out of my own stomach and cut my grocery budget if it means somebody in my life has a meal. I have gotten out of my car in the freezing, pouring rain to help people push their vehicles out of a ditch, because I knew how hard it was for me to come back from that $200 tow fee when I hydroplaned and my Dodge ended up in a ditch.
Yeah.
I will forever live by making sure the people I care about don't feel the way I have felt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I know how it is to be hungry. Like, it's... I actually have, with my business, I have a pay it forward, where if somebody mentions it to me when they place their order, if they're like, hey, I also want to pay this forward, I will completely duplicate their order, no matter the size, and find somebody in my community who needs it.
Jeez, you are awesome. Yo, chat. Lauren's the real deal, guys. So then, you know, because we're hitting, we've been talking almost an hour. Can you believe that? What would you, in just a few sentences, what would you tell a girl who is currently, because like if we decide to like maybe clip this or post or whatever, okay, what would you tell, number one, what would you tell somebody who is currently living the life of young Lauren? What would you tell them in a couple of sentences? What would you tell a younger you if you were to talk to yourself at the 14, 15, that like age? What would you tell yourself?
The things that 14-year-old me experienced were not a result of the actions that I chose. The lack of actions the people around me chose. I would make sure that she knew it wasn't her fault. And tell her that even though in that moment it genuinely does not feel like it's ever going to go up, that it will.
Yeah. What would you say to somebody who's currently living in the state that you were after all of this, and kind of feeling like you were in 2020, like, you know what, all seems lost. It doesn't seem like it's going to go anywhere. I'm not going to find the person that I really need in my life. What would you tell that person?
Find yourself first. Once you know what you're wanting will find you.
Wow. I love it.
Because that's exactly how it happened for me. Is I knew that I didn't want the drinking and the late nights and all the partying, and I essentially calmed down because I was a bit, for TikTok safety terms, promiscuous Once I realized that I was at the point in my life where I didn't want that lifestyle and that lifestyle was going to get me into trouble, and that I kind of realized that I was deserving of the love that I have now, I kind of started to focus more on myself and doing things that I enjoyed. Everything else kind of fell into place. And I now have a wonderful husband of a little over a year. We've been together for almost 6 years. He works hard to provide for us the same way I work hard to provide for him. He cares for my family like they're my own. He's now helped me get both my older and my younger sister out of the environment of living with my mother. And he never stops for us. He will, like, that's what he's doing right now. He's out there talking to my younger sister because he knew I was doing this with y'all tonight. He frequently checks in. He helps me with the house chores when I'm not feeling well, because I am unfortunately somebody who lives in chronic pain and fatigue. I'm often very tired. I'm always in pain, especially with unresolved injuries. Yeah. But he also matches me. He's been through similar stuff that I've been through in terms of like family issues. He came from very similar parental issues like I did. He doesn't drink. He doesn't thankfully do any type of drugs. He very much matches like my work ethic, my heart. He claims he is, for lack of better terms, an asshole, even though he's not. And it's just that love that he gives my family, like the family to me that matters, is one reason why I fell in love with him.
I love it. Seems like an amazing guy. I can't wait for a chance to maybe talk to him one day too.
Well, we'll see, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. He might be my newest best friend. You never know. Okay. Well, number one, Lauren, thank you so much for being willing to share. I know a lot of those things probably are really hard to talk about, even still. But thank you for staying strong. Thank you for being so strong and working your way through all that stuff. Once again, I am just super proud of you. I'm so thankful for the chance to get to talk to you. Man, I think you're pulling on heartstrings. People aren't even hardly commenting. I think they're just like listening and just loving this conversation. And I think there's a greater love. There's a greater love for Lauren in the Hat Pack now. So you guys all know her story. Okay, couple little rapid fire things. You good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, would you rather?
Oh God.
Always be 10 minutes late or always be 20 minutes early to everything?
Plot twist, I'm always 20 minutes early anyway.
Okay, well, there you go. Well, we know what she would rather do. All right. Would you rather relive one day every year or skip one day every year?
Do I get to pick the day I skip?
Of course.
Then I would skip a day every year.
You would skip a day every year. Okay. Awesome. Okay. All right. You can only keep 3 apps on your phone. What stays?
Oh God. My bank app, Sudoku, and TikTok.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, the bank app's kind of important, right? That's so funny that you said that, because that's definitely,
now that I've mentioned it, as soon as we get off the call, I gotta check it after this.
That's definitely not one I would have picked, to be honest. And it's one I probably should pick. This is why we all need a Lauren in our life to remind us of the things that we need to do. Like, Clutch, you need to go eat, bro. You haven't eaten.
For me, okay, Caress, I feel you on the Credit Karma, because I downloaded Credit Karma at a very young age.
That's also a good point.
Because my mom is somebody who takes credit cards out in her children's names, maxes them out, and lets them go to collections.
Oh, we have more conversations to have, Lauren. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I am the iceberg that took down the Titanic.
Okay, so there's
I don't know
more.
my bank login.
There's more conversations to come with Lauren for sure. All right.
We scratched the tip of.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The childhood stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We'll definitely get into some more conversations. Then we'll have to definitely do this again. I cannot wait. All right. One more thing, just so the Hat Pack knows. Haley said, "Oh boy, do I have baggage." Haley, you can get on the list. You're a pack member. We're going to be doing this once a week, okay? Just Hatter chatter, talking with people from the Hat Pack. All right, Lauren, what is your perfect day off in like 5 bullet points? Perfect, like the perfect day off for you.
No chronic pain or fatigue flare up, so having energy to do things.
Okay.
Perfect weather to go to our local sunflower farm and relive one of the first dates with my husband.
Ooh, okay.
Creole Creamery as a snack, which if you're ever in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, it is a small like ice cream shop. They have amazing flavors.
What's it called?
Creole Creamery.
Creole Creamery. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Clear trails with a souped out 4-wheeler.
I love it.
And then my favorite childhood dinner would have to wrap it up. So I would need my grandmother to make lasagna with me.
I love that day. I love it. That's amazing. All right. Last thing before I let you go. What's something that you want to be known for? And you can take a moment if you want to really think about it, but what's something that you really want to be known for?
The resistance that I've had to not let the things that I've gone through fully make me a negative person.
Okay. So you want to be known for that. Love it.
Yeah. Because there's, like I mentioned, and like Explorer said, the Lauren series begins because it genuinely is a series. Like
the Lauren series begins.
I would really have to break my life down into age groups to be able to cover everything.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, people, I have very much had the option of letting everything I've gone through change the entire trajectory of my life. Like I very much could be a wallowed up, self-pitying, angry 27-year-old woman.
Yeah.
But instead, I would rather fill the pain in my life with laughter.
Yeah. And that really, like, for me, is who you are, Lauren. Like, you'll always go down as, for me, somebody who just brings joy to other people's lives. Like, you are one of the funniest people in the Hat Pack for sure. But you, like I said, you bring so much joy to everybody else. And obviously you're an amazing cook. So I can't wait to continue some of the conversations. Yeah, this is part number 1 of the Lauren series. We got like a good like overview, right? Like this is the bird's eye view of the Lauren lore. Okay, that's what I'm gonna call it, the Lauren lore. Man, that is wow, just wow. Thank you so much for being willing to share. Thank you for being willing to be open. There's a lot of, I'll tell you this, Lauren, there's a lot of people in this world that needs a Lauren. So keep being amazing. Keep loving on people. There's somebody else out there that needs a Lauren in their life. And the things that you have the wisdom you have, the things that you've been through, what you're able to share. It's really, I mean, it's blessed me. I know it's blessed other people in the chat. You're an absolute blessing to this entire earth. So thank you for being who you are.
Absolutely. And to those in chat, if at any point you ever feel like you are alone, you're not, because
Come on.
Notifications are always on.
Come on. Let's go. Hey, W's in the chat for Lauren. Come on, let's send her off. Well, I know she'll be kind of lurking around here, probably go hang out with the hubby and the little sis, but Lauren's always kind of lurking around. But W's in the chat for Lauren. Show her some love, everybody. Ant said, thank you, Queen. Lauren, you're absolutely amazing. We love you in the Hat Pack. Thank you so much for who you are and what you do. And we will talk again soon.